Okay, chat. I think we are live. Okay, well, hi. Welcome to the party. My name is Madly Peculiar. We will be doing a little book talk, booktube thing. I'm so nervous. This is gonna get cut, but the day I've had. This is the fourth time I've recorded this, so we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it well. The girls are hanging out with each other. I think this is a cute backdrop. We'll find out. Okay, well, this is me rambling because I'm nervous. Okay, it's fine. We're all friends. Hello and welcome to our opening night. This will be referred to lovingly as the Crow Club. We will be our own little murder. My name is Madly, and I will be the host here on this booktube channel. I'm very excited to be here. Tonight is opening night for us, and I would like to lay down some ground rules, some expectations, some just kind of ideas of what's going to be going on here. I want to start by saying that this will be a safe space, especially for the LGBT plus community, for people of color, for women. We will be a safe space for all of it, and we will celebrate it, and we will help each other, keep each other accountable, and really be a community. That's the goal here, is to connect with one another, to make sure that we are keeping each other aligned and keeping each other safe. That being said, this will not be a safe space for anyone who is racist, homophobic, transphobic, bigoted, any of that. And it's also not going to be a safe space for anyone who's trying to remain neutral in terms of conflict. Neutrality is aiding the oppressor. We want to keep this space as safe as possible. So we will be making sure that there is no one in the community attempting to do harm to anyone else in the community. Reading is political. So anything that has to do with reading and books and literature is going to be inherently political. All art is political. So we will act accordingly. We will celebrate Black History Month, Women's History Month, Hispanic Heritage Month, AAPI Month, Pride Month. We will fight for free Palestine, free Sudan, free Congo, free Haiti. We will strive and fight for the very basic fundamentals of whatever constitution we hold. But in this case, I want to make sure that we are aiming for liberty and justice for everyone. So, with that being said, if you like what you hear, stick around. If you feel uncomfortable, look at that, I guess. Look at yourself if that's something that you want to address. If it's not, before we jump into anything strictly book related, I would like to take some time to let you guys get to know me a little bit as your host, as the one running this account. I think it's only fair that you know who you're dealing with. I've compiled a list of 30 things about me since I just turned 30. I just want to say, though, before we begin, that I am very excited to be here, as I said, and I think that this is going to be so fun. This is something I've wanted to do for a really long time, not getting any younger, and it's time to stop waiting and wanting and start doing. So any art you create is better than anything created by a computer. So keep creating. So this is me creating. Okay, well, this will be my 30 for 30. 30 fun facts for my 30 years of life. Maybe next year we'll up it to 31 and we'll get one more fun fact about me. But until then, I will reveal no more personal information about myself. That's a lie. I love to yap and I love to talk about myself. So let's start. The formatting of this is going to be so wonky because I've separated 5 books into 5 different fun facts. And then I've also combined 5 books into one fact. So if you're counting at home, don't. Okay, since this is a book channel and we will be focused mainly on books, and art, creativity, everything, I want to start with my favorite books in each section of life. So like childhood, preteen, teen, young adult, me now. So to start childhood is this book called Dear Millie. It was done by the Brothers Grimm. It is one of the most beautiful books I've ever seen in my whole life. It has so much beautiful artwork. The story is so haunting. I have thought about this book probably every day of my life since my mom first read it to me. Just look at that gorgeous artwork. So the story is really interesting. If you've ever heard of this book, I would love to know. I don't think I've ever met another person who's read that book. So please, please, please let me know. Next up, like the first chapter book that I think I ever remember reading is The Tale of Emily Winsnap. I love mermaids. I love dolphins. I love the ocean, especially when I was little. That was like my number one special interest, I guess. I really loved mermaids. So I remember loving this book because it was about a mermaid. So I recently repurchased a copy. This is not my original copy. And I noticed on the side it said like book 1. So I would love to get the collection and read the whole series. I think that would be so fun and such a good way to honor myself as a young child and just to really reconnect with who I was and bring it into who I am. Next up, in high school, I remember reading this book. It's called Wings by Aprilline Pike. It was a series. It has 4 books. I've reread them since not being in high school anymore. And sure, they're a little cheesy, but like whatever. I'm scared to reread them now as like a fully fledged adult in fear that they're not good. But this was Wings. This was about like a girl who was adopted and she like woke up one day and there was this huge bump on her back and then like these petals like sprouted from it. And she goes on this journey of self-discovery of like where she came from and like, you know, who she is. So part of me does want to reread them because I loved them so much and I love to revisit things that I've always loved. So maybe we'll do that someday. I think that might be fun. But next up, we have a classic, one that I'm sure everyone and their mother has read, The Fault in Our Stars by John Green. I got really into these post-high school, like late teens, early 20s. I got really into all the John Green books, but The Fault in Our Stars was definitely my favorite. And it was one that I have read at least 6 times since I started recording how many books I read. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I have this. I ordered like this special edition audiobook that John Green reads himself, and it came with like a bunch of postcards. So this is the like Funny Bones postcard that they like from the park that they go to. So that's in there. Okay, next up, this one might click for some people, is Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. So if you've noticed, my name, Madly Peculiar, came from this. I was thinking about what kind of adjective I want to put behind Madly. And this book has been one that has stuck with me for all these years, ones I really loved. I've started, like, I don't want to say altering my personality around it, but it has influenced me and inspired me in a lot of ways. So I've loved it, and I've really loved it for a long time. So I have named myself after this by Ransom Riggs. Miss Peregrine's. I love it so much. So those were the first 5 fun facts. I got into Miss Peregrine's probably like right around the same time as John Green, like a little bit after. So these will be like the top 5 like formative books for me for growing up. Not my current top 5 favorite. I cannot attest to The Tale of Emily Winsnap or Wings, but the other 2 are part of my favorite books. But yeah, so those are my like formative ones. If you've read any of these, please let me know. Okay, next we're gonna get into like my current top 5-ish, give or take. If I had to pick, I'd say pretty much any book that lives on my shelves over there. This is my TBR behind me. The ones that you can't see over there, any of those ones. I keep all the books I like. I don't keep books that I give like 3 or less stars to in general. So, but the 5 that I could probably like reread right now with like no reading slump or whatever are going to be The crowd gasps. The Fault in Our Stars by John Green. Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. Probably just the first one. I think the other 5 are fine. I liked the first 3 in the trilogy. I think once he expanded the trilogy, it kind of lost me. But definitely the first one. If maybe all of them, it would be a long time, I think, before I'm ready to reread all 6 books. This one is very personal to me. My best friend wrote it. It's called Giada by Sarah Gillick. It is stunning, gorgeous, perfect, wonderful, amazing. It's only 176 pages, and it is the most perfect book I think I've ever read. She probably will kill me for saying all of this. I love this book so much. I could reread this right now. Next up, we have Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. This is probably one of my favorite books by her. I think this duology and then the King of Scars duology are perfect. I love them so much. I love the diversity in the cast. I love the way all the characters are like well-rounded, and they're really interesting, and the world building is really interesting. Crooked Kingdom made me cry, which is not like easy to do. If I cry at a book, it's gonna get 5 stars. If you push me to having a physical reaction, 5 stars. So I love Six of Crows. This is also part of where our Crow Club motif is going to come from. My hometown is also like home of the crows, so I love crows in general, but this also does have a big influence on our motif here. And finally, a book that I read recently that I think every single person needs to read this book. I think this book needs to be on like all high school required readings, and that is Know My Name by Chanel Miller. Chanel was the woman who was assaulted by Brock Turner behind a dumpster at Stanford University. And she wrote this book about her experience going through all of that. When the whole trial was coming out, she was only known as Emily Doe because she didn't want to have this ruin her life any more than it already had until she was ready to reclaim her name. And so she published this book. Before the assault happened, she had wanted to be a writer, and you can see how beautiful her writing is and just how stunning and gorgeous like the writing is and how like impactful it is. I listened to this on Spotify. It's read by her, and so I think any audiobook read by the author, I think is like the best version of that audiobook there could be, because you're hearing it in exactly the way it was written. Anyone who reads a book out loud or just to themselves is interpreting everything differently. Like, I don't know if you've ever heard the saying, but like, no 2 people have ever read the same book, because we're all reading it differently and we're interpreting the words differently and the cadence differently and everything differently. So like hearing it read through her was so profound. So I think every single person needs to read this. If you can get your hands on the audiobook, I definitely recommend doing that. Okay, so these are my top 5 favorite reads currently of all time. This will probably change tomorrow. It could change next week, next year, whatever. But these are, I think, the top 5. So if you like any of these books, you will probably like the things I have to say about other books. If you hate these books, what are we doing here? Okay, moving on. Last year, I read a total of 111 books, which is not normal, okay? That was a super, unique year for me. I discovered audiobooks and Libby, so I could just listen to them through the library, and I didn't have to purchase anything. I didn't have to use all my 15 hours of Spotify audiobooks or whatever they give you. So I was, listening to books at, 2 times speed, so I was getting through, 1 book every 2 work days. So it was a really insane time. And I also read Lore Olympus graphic novels. So those are just really quick reads, they're not groundbreaking literature, and they're all mostly pictures. So I've lowered my expectations for this year. I set my reading goal to like 52 books, which is a book a week, because I really wanted to take it a lot slower with reading this year. I was just like consuming books at a rapid pace last year. So I want to take it slow and like actually really read and like sit intentionally with books and not just like plow through them like I did last year. Okay, now we are getting into like things about me. I'm a Leo, which is a big surprise to no one that the woman behind the camera loves attention. So, yeah, I was born in July. I'm a Leo, just turned 30. My favorite thing to drink is cherry Pepsi from a soda fountain, specifically. My favorite bands, my number one artists on Spotify. Number one's gonna be Hozier. Shocker. Fork found in kitchen. Okay. After Hozier is Halsey, Pierce the Veil, Chappell Roan, and Florence and the Machine. Those are my top 5 favorite artists on Spotify because I don't know how to work any other music streaming platforms, and I have worked so hard on my playlist, so I'm sorry, but I am a Spotify girly. I went to my first concert when I was 10 years old. It was an REO Speedwagon concert, and I slept through the whole thing because I was 10 and didn't know who REO Speedwagon was, and still don't. So if they're like horribly racist or misogynistic, that's my bad. Nobody does anything of their own free will when they're 10. So I'm sorry, I didn't pay for my ticket. I learned how to knit also when I was 10 years old. My grandma taught me. I wanted to learn how to knit. I thought it would be so fun and relaxing. And it eventually was not. I get really stressed out about my knitting projects. But I do still knit to this day. I'm learning new stitches, new patterns. That's a lie. I don't use patterns because I just wing everything. I just make it up as I go. And it works out pretty well for me. And I don't sell them, so nobody else needs to know if they're good or not. But that will become a part of this channel too. I have been compiling like every book I read and putting it in each, like a different genre. And then we'll do like a rainbow scarf at the end of the year, like how people do like temperature blankets. If you are part of the textile side of TikTok, you've seen temperature blankets. We're going to do one with reading. My favorite Disney princess was Sleeping Beauty, and probably still is, just because I loved the like artistry of the movie. I think it was really beautiful, and the music was really beautiful, and her voice was really unique, and she is really beautiful. So she's probably my favorite Disney princess still, if that tells you anything about me. But I loved Sleeping Beauty. I recently rewatched it for my 30th birthday. It holds up. It's great. Highly recommend. My favorite color is pink. Also, probably a shocker to no one if you're paying attention at all during this video. But I'm also colorblind. So I am one of the most unique cases. Most women are not colorblind. It has to exist on both your X chromosomes, which means that your mother also has to be a carrier of the gene, as well as your father. And that's how I happened. It existed on both of my parents, and we didn't know. And then in kindergarten, I tried my darndest to color a rainbow, and I used the wrong colors. And that's how my parents found out I was colorblind. So I have trouble seeing red, green, and brown. So I lose a lot of red in things, like anything pink. I lose the red and pink a lot. So it doesn't probably look to me the way it does to you. Purple, lose the red and purple. The pigments of people, the vibrancy of the outdoors, everything. It's just kind of like dull to me. Not that people are dull, but just the colors are dull to me. Because I'm dull. Okay, moving on. I love to bake. I really, really hate cooking. I have tried. I have attempted. I have never had an inclination towards cooking. And so I was gifted this very beautiful, hi Stinkybutt, this is my cat, this very beautiful recipe book compilation of all kinds of recipes from all kinds of women who love me very much. And I've tried, and I've cooked them, and it's not for me. So I love to bake. I love to make cookies and cupcakes and little cakes. I really want to expand my knowledge of baking. I love the Great British Bake Off. There's an extra fun fact for you, which is just a logical jump from loving to bake to loving Great British Bake Off. So yeah, I love to bake. You'll probably see me baking on here. I also really love the fall, despite my inability to see anything in color well. I love the season of fall. I love the leaves changing from what I can see. Pretty. I love the weather. I think it's the temperature is perfect. I love the fall. I love the weather in the fall. I love the pumpkin patches and the corn maze and the apple cider donuts and the apple cider and just pumpkin spice lattes. Sign me up. My favorite food, cheeseburgers. I love a cheeseburger. I love to put french fries on my cheeseburger. This is how I eat cheeseburgers, okay? Top bun, off. French fries, on. Ketchup, pickles, onion, a whisper of mustard. Top bun. Cut it in half. Take your burger, flip it upside down. Your top bun is now on the bottom. You're welcome. Try it sometime. That is also how Dean Winchester eats his burgers. I don't know about the condiment situation, but I was watching Supernatural once and I saw him eating his burger upside down and I felt so validated. And so that's my man. That's a lie. I did not marry Dean Winchester. Obviously. But yeah, eat your burgers upside down. They taste delicious. Just like every millennial woman, I grew up reading the Twilight books. I no longer have my physical copies because I got bullied out of liking them, as did every woman with any kind of interest ever. But I loved Twilight. So in high school, I had all the Team Edward merch, all the t-shirts and stuff. I went to the midnight releases. My brother worked for what was once known as Borders. It's a bookstore. It was like Barnes & Noble, but they closed. All of them, everywhere. But my brother worked for Borders. He got me copies of the books. So I was, and still am, admittedly, Team Edward. I was gifted a life-size cardboard cutout of Edward Cullen, which my mother still owns to this day in her basement. So I will have to get that because I think that would be such a fun addition to our Crow Club, is Edward Cullen as our bouncer. I did take my sophomore year high school homecoming pictures with him in them. If I find the picture, I'll put it up and we can all enjoy my whimsy together. Immediately following my not my Doctor Who phase, that's what followed. Immediately following my Twilight phase was a Doctor Who phase. I got really into Doctor Who in early college, 18, 19 area. I was a late bloomer in terms of teen angst and teen nerdiness. So that's when that came through for me. So yeah, everyone on the internet is a huge nerd. So I'm no different. I am exactly like other girls. I am also a huge nerd. I got really into Doctor Who. So in college, guess what? My mom got me a life-size cardboard cutout of David Tennant, which she also still owns to this day. So maybe he'll be our in-house bartender at the Crow Club. We'll make mocktails and cocktails and chocolate milk together. At time of filming, I have 13 tattoos. Luckily, I didn't get any Doctor Who or Twilight tattoos in my early years, but I'm not against them. So I did deeply consider it, but I just didn't have tattoo money at the time. Otherwise, I would have a giant tattoo of, what was it called? The Silence? Is that them? It's those guys that you would forget existed the second you looked away from them. Any Doctor Who nerds that are still out there, please let me know. But yeah, so I currently have 13 tattoos. 2 of them are cover-ups. So technically I have 15 If you count the ones you can't see, they're there. Okay, I really love jewelry. I love earrings and necklaces especially. I love to collect old jewelry. I like to go antique shopping for jewelry. Anytime I go to the store, I'm looking through the jewelry section. And I think that attributes back to the little crow that lives inside my brain and is in my little control room, like an Inside Out. There's a little crow in there that just finds anything shiny. She's in charge. She's gonna go find it. Speaking of shopping, I love to go antique shopping. I love to look through old little trinkets, anything vintage. And part of that also is looking through old photographs, which does come from reading Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. If you ever go to an antique store, you'll probably find like a shoebox full of just old pictures. It's really fun to just rifle through those. I have found some extremely unique and beautiful pictures. I found a picture that has my own last name on it. It might have been the photographer, it might have been the person being photographed, I'm not sure. But I don't know how common my last name is. It's not super common, but that was really cool. I've seen old pictures of women in full head to toe graduation gowns, which is really cool. Pictures of old couples, pictures of dogs, always a big fave. Anything. So I haven't gone looking in a while, but I just love collecting old pictures and giving them a new home. I have skipped a couple. I made a little list on my phone. I've skipped a couple of them. And I have rewritten them, and so I have some extras. Okay. Going back to jewelry, I always wear 6 rings on my fingers. I wear the same 6 rings every single day. I have, obviously, my wedding band and my engagement ring. I have this ring that I share with my mom. It has a little heart on it. I have a spoon ring that has a little mermaid on it. I have this ring I just got off of Etsy. It's got the moon. It's like a moonstone, and it has 2 little crescent moons. I have this ring I found on the floor of the shoe store I worked at. So if it was yours, I'm sorry, but thank you. I wear it every single day. I wear one on top of it that has my grandmother's name on it. So those are the 6 rings I wear every single day. My favorite flowers are roses, and I would love to write my own books someday. I think that would be so fun. I've started one, and I'm gonna scrap it and rewrite it, I think. Because I think, well, all art is kind of a reflection of who you are. And at the time that I was writing it, I was different. I was a different person, kind of. I mean, I was doing different things, believing different things. And so I think that what I had started writing was a reflection of that. And now, not being in that space anymore, I would have to rewrite it, I think, to be able to tell the story that I want to tell. So, yeah, I would love to have time to work on that. So maybe that's something else we can do here. We can write together, create together, live together, go on hot girl walks together. Just whatever. Fun stuff. Finally, I just want to say that I have been wanting to do this for such a long time. I started my Instagram, Madly and Peculiar, probably, I think 7 years ago. I started doing what is referred to as good books, cute legs. So I will take every book that I've read and I will stack them up over here on a book stack. And I'll take a picture next to each book that I read. When I started doing that, it was just like a fun little way to keep track of all the books that I'd read, and also a fun way to kind of honor the part of me that still really loved doing photography as an art form. So it was truly just me and books. It wasn't any fun costuming or props or anything. Really, it was just me standing next to the books in whatever outfit I had been wearing when I finished the book. And as time went on, I started wanting to do more and wanting to get into dressing up in the theme aesthetic as one of the characters as part of the book, to kind of represent what the book was actually like, and hopefully it inspires someone to want to read it because of, you know, the costume, the pose, the the drink I'm holding in my hand, just anything fun to make it more fun. So very recently I've started adding pictures from Pinterest to kind of encapsulate the themes and aesthetic of the book without giving anything away. So it's just been really fun and such a good way to get a little creative. Hi, Stinkybutt. I do also have 2 cats. That was a fun fact. I have Misty, who is 9, and she has thumbs, and then Stinkybutt, who I've had her whole life. I watched her come into this world, and she was named Buttercup, but she did not act like a buttercup. She acted like a stinky butt. So that's her name, and she's wonderful and perfect and a horrible menace, and I love her so much. And Misty's new to our family, so we're getting to know her and what she's like, but yeah, so hopefully we can get them on the channel sometime. What was I talking about? Books. Shocker. So in the last 7 years that I've been doing Good Books, Cute Legs, I have upped my reading from, oh my god, she's right behind the camera. She's gonna knock it over. Hold on, let me take a picture. She's so cute. Okay, I have read over 700 books since I started keeping track of the books that I've read, probably since 2017, so about 8 years, including the ones I've read this year. So I get pretty close to 100 every year if I'm like really trying. A couple years it didn't hit because I was busy and like living life. Weird. But yeah, so that's how many books I've read, and that's Good Books, Cute Legs. So if you're looking for me on Instagram, you'll see Madly Peculiar, 2Ds_peculiar. Or if you even just search up the hashtag Good Books, Cute Legs, you'll find me. Madly. I do want to say everything that I've said is subject to change. We change as people, we grow and we learn, and hopefully get more tattoos. But that is currently the truth I have for you. So it's going to change, and we're going to change, and we can come revisit it next year, and we can do it again if we liked it. If you liked me, if you liked anything I've said, if you liked these books, you can find me Madly Peculiar, 2Ds_peculiar, at everything. Instagram, TikTok, not that I really post anything on there yet. Goodreads, if you want to follow my Goodreads, I think it's just Madly Peculiar. I don't think there's an underscore. Yeah, you can follow along. You can watch all the books I've read. Some hopes I have for this channel, some like goals I have. In a perfect world, will put out 1 video a week. So like 4 videos a month. There'll be reading wrap-ups. There will be hot girl walks. We can do some Sunday lives where we take a little walk and read our books together. There will be a compilation of the Good Books, Cute Legs where you watch me take my book pictures together. There will be, obviously, as I said before, the celebrations of all the different months that we have to celebrate, like Black History, Women's History, Pride, AAPI, Hispanic Heritage, everything that I can think of. If you know anything fun, I don't think I have all 12 months. I don't know if there's like one for every month, but I will look into it and we will find out and we will do them together. The goal for that is to do at least 3 books to celebrate the month. So like a memoir of some sort, a contemporary, and a fantasy. I think representation in all 3 genres are important. Not only 3, there's obviously more than 3 genres in the whole world, but I think representation across those 3 platforms is very important. It's important to see yourself in high fantasy, and it's important to see yourself in contemporary, and it's important to see yourself in your fellow humans through a memoir of some sorts, through some sort of nonfiction. So that will be the goal. We will do our reading scarf, rainbow scarf wrap up. Stinky's moving the cat tree that I placed my camera on. Hi, Stinkybutt. Do we want to say Stinky? Maybe she'll let me. Hi. She's a horrible menace and also a perfect angel, and I love her so much. So this is Stinky. She just wants to live her life and take naps. So that's my girl. Thank you. So yeah, I don't really know what else we'll do. We'll do something fun. We'll do like bookstore walks or TBR collectors and reading random books and fun stuff. So stick around. I hope that this was fun. I had fun. And we'll have fun together. And Stinkybutt will be here. So if you like cats, if you like books, if you like me, stick around. Okay. Remember to create more than you consume and make it beautiful. Anything that you make is going to be beautiful. Every piece of bad art is better than anything made by AI. So, yeah, go make something beautiful. And I hope that you have a good day. And I hope I'll see you soon. And I hope that we do a lot of reading together. Okay,